1971 to protect our local wildlife. Since then, animals have become pretty comfortable around humans, which is good for us, but it's allowing them to be more vulnerable to poaching. Now, the reserve is over 800 square miles, so we have a lot of land to cover over the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to be able to stop for all the animals, but I will be able to stop for a few. It is recommended you put your camera on in action or sports setting and get all those great pictures. Now we're just going to wait right here with a warning because it's an all clear to enter the reserve. Once we're in the reserve, it may be a little difficult to see the animals. They do tend to blend in with their natural surroundings. Definitely want to keep your eyes open. I'll try my best to point them out for you, though. Looks like we made our way right into the Little Ituri Forest. This is where we're going to find the more stunning and reclusive animals of Africa. Right now, hanging out along the hillside over there on the right, tall dark brown animal with stripes on its legs. That's an okapi. Although it has stripes like a zebra, it's actually a known relative of the giraffe. Now laying down along the wall towards the back of the truck out there on the right, small dark brown animal with a yellow stripe on its back. It's a yellow-backed duiker, smaller of the antelope here in Africa. Alright, coming up ahead on the left is the watering hole. It's a popular hangout spot for a lot of the animals of the forest. Pretty good chance you'll see some black rhino out there. Now, the black rhino is an endangered animal, with less than 5,000 of them in the world. Pretty powerful creatures with a top charging speed of about 35 miles an hour. Unfortunately, the black rhino is still being poached today for that horn up on top. You can see one of them hanging out way out there on the left. We'll make a stop for him a little bit closer up. There's another one laying down way back there on the left. Kind of blends in very well with the wall back there.
Back on the far wall.
Alright, now just on top of the hill out there on the right, there's a light brown animal with white stripes on the side. That's a greater kudu. It's a female greater kudu. Males known to have horns, and they weigh in at about 700 pounds. Alright, now standing way out there amongst the tall bushes back there is a tall black and white bird. That one's a saddle-billed stork. It has its name from the saddle-like pattern on its bill. Stands about 3 to 4 feet tall and has a wingspan of about 5 to 9 feet. It looks like we're heading out of the Ituri Forest now into the Safi River. Now, the Safi River is home to animals like the Nile crocodile, the pelican, and even the hippo. Now, when hippos are born, they can weigh in at about 85 pounds. When they reach adulthood, they're known to tip the scales at about 5,000 pounds. Now, you might be able to catch a glimpse of some of the hippos downstream over here on the right. They usually end up a little bit upstream, so we'll see them as we cross the river up ahead. Now, hippos may look like they swim through the river, but they actually sink to the bottom and walk along the bottom. They tend to stay fully submerged throughout the entire day in order to stay cool. They can hold their breath for about 5 to 8 minutes at a time, and they'll come out completely at night and feed on about 100 to 150 pounds of grass. Yeah, there's those hippos out there on the left. We'll make a stop for them a little bit further up there. Now, those white and gray birds over here on the left, those are pink-backed pelican. They're known to herd small fish into shallow water in order to feed on. Okay, we'll make a stop for them right up here.
There's a whole bunch behind there.
Alright, let's see what's up ahead around the corner. Alright, it looks like we're going to be heading over a really old small bridge up ahead. I do need everyone to remain seated while we cross it. And if you look way out there on the left, you can see a few Nile crocodile. Now, the Nile crocodile does have the ability to lower its body temperature by simply opening its mouth to release body heat. Speaking of its mouth, it has very powerful jaws that can close down at about 1,200 pounds per square inch.
I'll do it for you,
we made our way out of the Safi River now. We're heading into the savannah, which is a different ecosystem with many different animals. Speaking of different, up ahead on the right, that's a baobab tree. Kind of looks like an upside down tree with its roots in the air. It's actually a leafless tree for 9 months out of the year and stores a lot of water in that trunk for those long African droughts. Up here is my favorite view of the savannah. These are the Serengeti grasslands. These grasslands will stretch on for hundreds of miles and act as a superhighway to millions of migrating animals. This is all part of that wild Africa that we're trying so hard to protect. Out here in Africa, we do have our own natural landscaping crew. Elephants moving and act as bulldozers, knocking over some of the trees like you can see up ahead on the right. Now they knock over the trees in order to feed on, and that allows more grass to grow. Giraffes are moving in, need some of the underbrush, allowing more light to come through. Other animals like Patterson, eland, and Ankole cattle will chew up grass like a lawnmower, and the warthogs will come up and clean up around the edges. So here in a balanced ecosystem, there's enough food for everybody. Alright, now hiding out amongst the bushes up there on the left is a tall tan animal with horns sticking straight up. That's a Patterson eland. It's the larger of the antelope here in Africa. They stand about 6 feet to their shoulder.
Oh, pretty.
Now these tall cones of earth scattered all over the savannah out here on the right, those are termite mounds. They're hard as concrete and elephants use them as back scratchers. It is until they are worn down enough and the tops of gazelle or other small animals can climb up on top and watch out for predators hiding out in tall grass. Looks like most of the animals migrating on that hill way out there on the right. We're going to circle around the savannah and get a better look at them up there. All over the hill up there on the right, there's a couple of the Maasai giraffes. Now the Maasai giraffes are the shorter, darker giraffes here in Africa. They sleep standing up and they do that for only 30 minutes a day.
There's a big, whatever that is too. You see it? There's something big.
Right now up ahead underneath these trees over here on the left is a short gray animal with short curved horns. It's a long-bearded wildebeest. It can also be named the Gnu, spelled G-N-U, and that mimics the sound that they make. There's about 1.5 million of them here in Africa. They have the largest animal migration of any animal here in Africa.
Wildebeest. Oh, you got such a long face, yeah.
Make a stop for those giraffe up here. Also, just behind the trees out there on the right, there's a large dark brown animal with really long horns. This is an Ankole cattle. So it's going to be about 5 to 6 feet long and about 20 inches around their base. It can also be called the Watusi cattle. It's after the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them here in Africa. Also a little bit closer up here on the right. Taller, lighter giraffe than those Maasai giraffes back there. That's a reticulated giraffe. Gets its name from the Latin word reticulata, which means net, and refers to the net-like pattern all over its back. small hill over there on the right. Like moving around up ahead on the right, there's a lone African bull elephant out there. The elephants are known to travel in herds, except for adult males. Males will stay away from the herd once they reach adulthood. We should get another glimpse of some more elephants once we get into elephant country up ahead. Now here, I can usually pick up the Harambe radio station. See if I can get that in here now. There we go. It looks like that road that took 2 weeks ago into elephant country is closed. We're gonna have to go a different way. I'm not too sure about this. I'm gonna go really, really slow or pulley, see if I can find some place to turn around out here. I really don't see any safe place to turn around. Looks like we just have to keep moving forward. Alright, well this bridge up ahead does not look all that great. I am going to ask everyone, please remain seated and hang on. Maybe cross the fingers, see if you can get over it. Looks like it's held together with rope. That doesn't sound too good. Alright, let's get out of here. We made our way to some red clay pits. Now you can see the elephants have been here recently with all the tusk marks and footprints in the wall. The elephants will come to these clay pits, eat the clay right off the wall. That's how they get the nutrients. Now way up there on the left looks like a small herd of elephants made their way out here. Now a few of the elephants may have a little bit of sand and mud on their back. They actually flung that sand and mud on their own back using their trunk. That sand and mud is going to act like a natural sunblock. Elephants actually have very sensitive skin when it comes to the sun. Now both male and female elephants have ivory in their tusks, which make them prime targets towards poachers. There's a few more elephants up ahead. We'll make a stop for them up there. Now the field researchers of Harambe are studying the vocal patterns of the elephants in order to get a better understanding how elephants communicate for survival. Here we go.
If you hold down the button.
There we go.
Now that dark brown animal over there on the right towards the back of the truck, that one's a sable antelope. It's actually the emblem animal for the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Smaller, lighter one amongst the group there, and that's a baby sable antelope.
If you hold the button down halfway, and then you can push it all the way.
What?
Can I take some pictures?
Up ahead on the left looks like a small flock of greater flamingo made their way out here. Now the greater flamingo have the lightest color pink of all flamingos here in Africa. Made us a few of our smaller and greater. Those are the babies in the flock and they haven't quite got their pink color yet. They get that about 1.5 years after tying to brine shrimp. Now as the keratin that's in those brine shrimp, they give all pink flamingos their pink colors.
I think we're out of luck for a little bit.
Alright. looks like we made our way into white rhino country now. Now, the white rhino is one of Africa's greatest success stories, once on the near brink of extinction. But through anti-poaching and conservation efforts, we're able to raise the level of the white rhino to a self-sustaining one. And you can tell by the footprints in the mud and dirt, they were here recently. They may have migrated a little bit west of here. We should be able to see them a little bit later.
He's got charges.
There's that white rhino moving around a bit. Now, the white rhino actually gets its name from the Afrikaans word vite, pronounced V-I-T-E, which means square and refers to their wide, square-like jaws. Now, they can only see about 10 feet in front of them, so if they are charging, they do so blindly. Alright, I definitely want to keep your eyes open along the hillside over here on the left. You might be able to spot some cheetah up there. And the cheetah is one of Africa's fastest land mammals with a clock speed of about 60 to 70 miles an hour. These guys are primarily hunting the day because they have to use their sense of sight as opposed to their sense of smell. You can see them moving around towards the very left corner, the bottom of the hill up there on the left.
Yeah. The other one's like, damn right now.
Take a picture. Take a picture.
I've never seen this.
Play it now.
Alright, now it looks like we made our way up to the Kobe. Now, the Kobe is the Afrikaans word used to describe a large rock formation, usually home to those larger cats commonly known as a lion. Now, the male lion is under rest for about 18 to 22 hours out of the day and allows all the female lions to do most of the hunting for him. You can see the male lion hanging out just on the very top of the middle rock up there on top of the Kobe. Let's stop for him right about here. Very top of his mane up there.
We just happened to start feeding time, and they all of a sudden.
And as we're moving forward, if you look towards the back of the Kobe, in between the two rocks up on top, there's a female lion back there too.
We're sitting there, they're all just laying around. All of a sudden, they all pick up and run for the enclosure. It was so cool. Never seen them. They're always just laying around.
And over here on the right, there's a small dark brown animal, a short curved horns. That one's a bontabok. Now, the bontabok rely on conservation efforts for survival, so you're only going to be able to find them on a reserve, much like this one. There's actually very few, almost none of them left in the wild today. Just on top of the burrows over here on the left, looks like a couple of warthogs made their way up here. The warthog is one of Africa's only burrowing mammals. It'll dig its burrow using its snout and then back in, leaving its razor-sharp tusk exposed towards its predators. Alright, now the small round-white objects coming up ahead on the left. On the ground, those are ostrich eggs. They weigh in about 3 pounds each, are the largest eggs anywhere. And up there on the right, there is an ostrich laying down. Ostrich is a tall black bird with feathers and wings. Although it has feathers and wings like other birds, it's considered a flightless bird. You're going to run fairly quickly though, with a clock speed of about 40 to 45 miles an hour.
What did you say about the lion back there?
Ron was always the next spot. One of the guys lives here, apparently they can hear him. That rock, so he wants to be there, and then everyone gets to see him. So there's a little manipulation done in the park, right?
Alright, looks like someone left the reserve gates open over here. Let's go check this out. Now these roads up ahead do look a little bit bumpy, so you want to remain seated and hang on.
No.
Now over here on the left, it looks like the reserve is getting ready to reintroduce some animals back into this area of the reserve. Rumor has it's going to be zebras. It can take many months of hard work to get an animal to feel comfortable enough coming back to a habitat that it was once kicked out of because of poachers or farmers here in Africa. No matter where you guys are visiting from, there are conservation efforts that you can be a part of anywhere. Be sure to check those out. Looks like we may have taken a wrong turn back there, got a little lost. We're gonna have to cut our 2-week safari just a little bit short. Gonna drop you guys off at the nearest boarding post. From there, it's just a short walk up to the Harambee village. And remember, no matter where you guys are visiting from, there's conservation efforts everywhere. If you are looking for any more close encounters with animals, be sure to check out the Pangani Forest Exploration Trail. Just a short walk up from the exit of Kilimanjaro safaris. There you can see a few of the animals you get a chance to see on safaris today, like the silverback gorillas, the meerkats, and the mole rats. There's also a pretty cool underwater viewing area of the hippos in there as well. It does look like we're approaching the warden's post up ahead, so now's a good time to check those net bags down below. Make sure you have all your belongings with you. You don't want to forget anything behind it. We'll be heading out on another safari, and I'm not too sure any stuff will get back to you. Once again, guys, double check those net bags. Make sure you have everything with you. Now, here in Africa, we like to say goodbye. It is too sad and too final. I'm going to use the word kwaherini instead, which means go well. So kwaherini, everybody. John Borden.